viewers and the participants who have come here today for a state level online workshop on documentation for CAS being organized by the IQAC of Ram Niranjan Junjunwala College. At the outset, I would like to congratulate my IQAC team for taking this initiative and addressing the issue of a proper documentation of CAS, which is a part and parcel of quality teaching in every institute, and therefore knowing it in its right format is essential for each one of us. Well, friends, quality education is a culture that has to be developed, and that develops only over a period of time. And for any higher education institute under the universities, the quality of teachers define, constitute, and immensely and constantly ensure the quality of teaching, learning, and evaluation on the campus of that institute. A teacher plays a multidimensional role, imparting knowledge on one hand, to parenting a student like a child, at the same time mentoring a student like a guru. Teacher has to be a teacher in true sense and not the preacher, by setting his own actions as an example to the student as to what should be the code of conduct in life as a human. CAS, Career Advancement Scheme for the Promotion of Teachers, is a consolidated effort in this direction to ascertain how efficiently a teacher delivers the different roles that he or she is assigned. CAS is a documentation of more of a self-analysis than a self-proclamation. It is documentation of more of an introspection than the condemnation. To give us the right perspective in this direction, RJC IQAC has organized this seminar, and I feel very proud and privileged to have here with us our former principal and now the director of the governing body, Hindi Vidya Prachar Samiti of the college, Dr. Usha Mukundan, as a resource person. In her successful career as a principal for 16 long years, she has done CAS of so many teachers, and each of the case that she has handled is handled in a way that for the teacher as well as for the institute, that CAS goes a long way beyond the pages of CAS documentation. Welcome, Dr. Mukundan, for this session, and we are eager to get the tips from you with regards to CAS documentation. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, our resource person, and thank you, RGC IQAC, once again for organizing this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Principal Dr. Himanshu Davda. At the outset, I welcome each one of you to our family, that is the Junjunwala College family. What I'm going to share with you all is the experience that we had with each and every case, and also the document which is readily available on the website of UGC as well as University of Mumbai. There are participants from other part of Maharashtra, but whatever is given in the GR of Maharashtra government is applicable to each and every institute. So welcome once again, and it's a great opportunity to be interacting with the members of the teaching staff, but more importantly with the members of the non-teaching staff. The reason being that once the CAS interview is done, the file is coolly handed over to the clerk concerned, so that he should then find his way out as to how he will go about submitting to the university and then submitting to the joint director, clarifying their questions. If there are any issues, then how he will give answers. We never give a thought. So very often I think that in a picture, The hero and heroine and all the artists are on the stage. But there is a very big community which makes this presence very successful. So this non-teaching staff who are working, whether it is a peon, a lab attendant, lab assistant, or your office clerk, accountants, head clerk, etc., who prepare the file, who ensure that your salaries are done in time, I think we need to give them a very big round of applause. And this workshop, even though they have many teachers who are here, including some of my very cute principal friends, a very big round of applause, and we pay our gratitude to our office staff. So namaskar, our office staff is the one I say they rock, because silently, see, we never train them for anything. We never tell them how many refresher courses are needed or how they should be preparing a file. So I thought that maybe the IQAC team who is doing this workshop will go back and give training to their office staff so that they can easily explain to the authorities how everything has been done properly. So once I know where are the pitfalls, then I can explain, because nobody wants to overrule anything. The rules are in place, only the presentation should be proper. So I'll be sharing a screen. This workshop is also streamed live on YouTube. So the entire PowerPoint will be available to you. It is not my brain. It is whatever is documented. I'm only repeating it in a simple manner, or the manner in which I have understood. If somebody has a greater understanding, please feel free to supplement it so that next time we can make those, or rather we can insert those new learnings, because every day is a learning process. So today I'm going to learn from each one of you, and all questions we'll keep at the end of the workshop. So may I now share my screen, and once again extending a very, very warm welcome to each one of you. So can you see the screen, please? One of you can answer me. Yes?
Yes, madam.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So basically, there is a major part is in the CAS documentation, but I'm going to also talk a little bit about the duties and responsibilities which are written as the code of conduct for the staff members, and staff member also includes the principal of the college, because the principal is the first teacher of the college. At the outset, I would like to thank all the team members of IQAC who have helped me in constructing this entire workshop. So what are the contents? Will be, as our institution, I'll tell what is a higher educational institution. Then what we are going to talk about is the initial appointment. That's very, very, very important, because many of you, those who are working in the office, you might have realized recently the joint director has given a 36-column form to tell about all the information right from your first appointment. So the first appointment onwards, what things we shall be telling you. Then service book. Then how the service book will be kept updated. Then the various steps in CAS promotion for which you have assembled here today. Many teachers are very eager to know how they can go to the next step. Then how to arrange the file for a CAS promotion. And then finally, the code of conduct. I repeat it again. For the sake of convenience, please keep your mic muted. There'll be enough time for question and answer, because only by those question answers, I am going to learn something more. So let us now proceed. This is my beautiful college, the Ram Niranjan Jhunjhunwala College, which is bang opposite Ghatkopar station and was started in 1963. It has got courses, both which are grant in aid, that means the finances come from the government for salary, and self-financing. It was awarded the best college. It has been re-accredited by NAC. In the third cycle, we got an A grade with a CGP of 3.50. All our science departments are supported by DBT star, of which 4 of the departments have a star status. The PG departments of botany, zoology and chemistry are supported under DST FEST. 2 times we have received an award under the Jagar Zani Mansa, which is for the welfare of girl students. The student strength only in the degree college I'm talking about is 6,340 this year. Non-teaching staff, both aided and unaided, are 137, and teaching staff are 122. As all of you know that there is no NOC being granted after 2016. So a large number of both teaching and non-teaching staff have been kept on a self-financed basis. We have 23 programs, undergraduate programs. So as a multi-faculty college, which has BA, BSc, BCom and self-financing courses in all 3 faculties. We have 13 PG programs, 4 postgraduate diploma programs, and 9 PhD centers. So we provide opportunity for students for both horizontal and vertical growth. This is a very big IQAC team, because when you make an IQAC, it should be as per the norms given by the UGC and NAC. So you can see there is a representation of every stakeholder. So you have the management, the principal is the chairman of IQAC, management representative. What we have done is taken almost every department being represented as teacher representative. There are senior administrators, there are nominees from student community, society, then alumni, employer, industrialist, parent, and finally one teacher who's working as a coordinator. Let me thank my coordinator, Dr. Seema Ratnaparki, who has been working with us without any getting any benefit, just for the love of the college. So Dr. Seema, we are highly indebted to you for your contribution. Now this UGC regulation, what I'm going to talk about, has been accepted by the Maharashtra government, and there is a GR to that effect dated in March 2019. Then there is a what you can say correction, more additions there with another GR dated 10th May 2019. Now, very important, as the UGC regulation mentions, that you must have NET or SET as a basic qualification to be eligible for applying as an assistant professor. But if you are a PhD holder, then also you are eligible. But this PhD should be awarded as per UGC guideline. This is a very important information, because if you want a promotion from assistant to associate from 12 to 13A, you must have a PhD, and that PhD should be awarded as per UGC guideline. So your provisional certificate should mention that this degree has been awarded as per UGC guideline. So it should be a regular mode, no distance education. It should be evaluated by 2 examiners. There should be an open defense. 2 publications from PhD work in referred journal. That means there should be peer review. They must have presented 2 papers. And then these conditions should be certified by the registrar or the dean, concerned dean. So it is commerce, science, engineering, whatever. And then your certificate should mention, I have seen, and even our own university, it says that PhD awarded as per UGC norms. So to safeguard your interest, if you are pursuing PhD, please ensure that you follow these guidelines. Later on, any amount of argument is not going to work. Now, why I'm putting up this slide? Because sometimes teachers keep complaining that everything was fine, but my approval has not come in. So if any of you is aspiring to take up an administrative post, or your approvals are delayed, then you must check whether these things have been fulfilled or not. So the selection committee is very, very important. So chairperson of the governing body or his nominee, the principal of the college, HOD or senior teacher, 2 VC nominee, of which one is a subject expert, 2 subject nominee who are appointed by the governing body from the list of the VC nominees subject expert. Then an academician representing the different categories. And then very important, because your salaries come from the joint director himself or his or her nominee. Now, for minority institution, the quorum is slightly different. However, they also need to follow the guidelines provided in the selection committee. Now, initial appointment. Now, a good way of knowing is to put all these documents in the personal file of the teacher. So any appointment which is made without any NOC is not a regular appointment. So NOC from Government of Maharashtra. When I will tell about service book, I will tell how to make a noting about this. Very, very important. Without NOC, no appointment which is made can be considered as a regular appointment. Then there is a procedure, because teachers also don't know. They think, oh, why the delays? Why the delays? They don't know the work which goes behind every teacher. So every individual teacher is special. His document has to be processed properly. So there is a draft which is made, and this draft should be approved by the university. Therefore, for all new teachers, please see that whenever you reply to any advertisement, at the base, it will say, this advertisement is approved by university. And advertisement should be minimum in 3 papers, of which one should be a local language. So we are in Maharashtra. So your advertisement should come in the Marathi newspaper. The content may be in English, but the advertisement must come in the Marathi newspaper. A short advertisement can come in the paper, and the details can come in university news, which is published by UGC, because the cost of advertisement is very high. So if you have to put more advertisements, then the managements are also pressed for money. So they may think about using this via media, which is acceptable. Then interview with duly constituted selection committee. No local committee can do any interview. If it is done that way, then the appointment will not be approved. Then all original signature. I will also show how the selection committee report should be made. There should be original signature, and please make at least 4 copies. Then there should be a letter of appointment and an agreement of appointment. Then letter of acceptance and a joining report. My suggestion would be, all these documents, you are better off keeping it in the personal file, and 1 copy at the last page of your service book. So it becomes a ready rec now. Am I going very fast, or it's okay? Can any one person respond?
Yeah, madam, it's okay.
It's okay. Thank you. Now checklist. When you submit for approval, your file will never be delayed, or it will not come back if you make a checklist. Now what is your checklist? The PG, UG, PG mark sheet and the convocation. Many times teachers don't give the convocation. Then you have to make phone call. And all documents should be verified by the clerk and from originals and certified by the principal of the college, saying that verified from original. Any degree which is obtained from a university outside your parent university. Say, for example, I am from University of Mumbai. If I have a degree from Rajasthan or anywhere else, that degree should be verified. And you should have a letter from the registrar of the other university saying that it is genuine, verified, and found to be correct. Similarly, NET and SET certificate, they have to be verified. And it takes a very long time to get that verification. And this is one reason why approvals get delayed. So it should be verified by the competitive authority. Who is it? Competent authority, sorry. Competent authority. Who is it? It can be either UGC, it can be CSIR, and now it is the National Testing Agency, NTA. Then the PhD certificate, very important. It has to be verified, even if it is from University of Mumbai and you are taking a job in the university, it has to be verified as genuine and correct. Then you have to submit the draft approval of advertisement. Very important, no photocopy. You have to submit the original paper. That means the entire page of the advertisement, which is original. Then original selection committee reports, appointment letter, agreement, acceptance letter, and a joining report. Now, how do I go about it? Very important. Always make 3 files. Can somebody mute themselves, please? Please mute yourself. Always make 3 files. One personal file for teacher having all these documents. See, today you are the principal. Tomorrow somebody else may come. That person should not have a tough time. Your file should be your mirror. It should reflect everything. So when you make 3 files, these 3 files should be identical. One personal file for teacher having all these documents original. One file for submission to the university. And one file along with the approval letter to be submitted to the joint director along with the service book having relevant entries for stamping and pay fixation. Meanwhile, I think some mics are on, please. DP sir, can you mute them? Santosh Kanade sir, can you mute yourself, please? I'll be obliged. Santosh sir, can you please mute yourself? So when you make 3 files, one personal file for teacher, one for university, and one for the joint director. But every teacher should submit a self-attested PAN card, Aadhaar card, and a copy of the bank passbook in which the salary account will be maintained. All these 3 things are essential even before your salary starts. Now let me come to a very, very important part of your life cycle as a teacher or a member of the non-teaching staff, your service book, which we are not very careful while filling. Please remember, service book will not be filled by the teacher. The first page, Seva Pustak, is your lifeline. Let me look at the first page. Your name, you have to fill the way it is in your certificate. Suppose before marriage, okay, you had a name, then there was a change in the name. So you have to write that and write NEE, N-E-E, and then write the name through by means of which you're getting employment. That means whatever you will be in the service record, which has to be justified by a marriage certificate or by a gazette. So you have to submit that also, because sometimes your degree certificates has one name and after marriage there is a different name. So Immediately the government authorities will ask for marriage certificate. Then we come back to college and ask, Are, jara marriage certificate de do, gazette de do. Then you start searching. So you better make a checklist and provide everything. Then those who are got appointment on the basis of caste, category, etc. should also provide their caste certificate and make a noting of it in this service book, first page. Then very important, address. There is a temporary address and there is a permanent address. If there is a change of address, then the change of address should be communicated in writing. Anything which you want to be noted should be made as an inward document. So there is a reference number. And you must get the change done and it should be countersigned by the principal. Why this is important? Because later on that again is going to be your reference point. So any communication which comes to you will come to you on this particular address. Then your father's name and their address. Then your birth, this birth certificate again, LC, verified from the leaving certificate. This should also be submitted because again, this is a very important document to be present with the teacher. Then your height. Then any sign of recognition. Say for example, I have a sign of chicken pox on my nose. So that is my ओळखण्यासाठी अंगावरील खुणा. So I use that as my birthmark or whatever, not birthmark, but a mark by means of which identification can be done. Now, this is very important, 8A. नियुक्तीच्या वेळेची शैक्षणिक अर्हता. इथे प्लीज तुम्ही तुमची UG त्याची पर्सेंटेज, PG त्याची पर्सेंटेज, and then net set with date, whichever year you have got, February or June, whatever. Then PhD, if you have already a PhD holder, MPhil holder. So everything should have the year when you obtained it. And you must mention the percentage of your UG and PG. So later on for the office, it becomes very easy if they need any information rather than going back to your file and searching for the document. Then afterwards, if you acquire any qualification, नियुक्ती नंतर प्राप्त केलेली शैक्षणिक अर्हता. Now this page is a responsibility of the teacher. I am underlying. ही सगळी तुमची स्वतःची माहिती आहे. तुम्ही स्वतः जबाबदार आहात. So you must be very, very careful when you are filling this information and it should tally with the documents that you have submitted. Then your sign with date. शासकीय कर्मचाऱ्यांच्या दिनांकित सही. Then after everything is checked, the signature of the principal. Then very important point number 11. Every teacher and member of the non-teaching staff should get their medical fitness certificate from any municipal hospital. So the principal can give a letter, they can go and take an appointment and bring their fitness certificate, and that should also be a very important document of your personal file. I would say it can be stuck on the last page. Then this page, your TASA, that means all your biometric that you're doing, you have to put an impression on this page. Again, this should be signed by the principal of the college. Then this page has to be at least filled in it has to be filled every year because the number of pages are less. I would suggest at least 2 or 3 years. This should be filled and there should be signature of the principal. Now let us come to this page. Here, the clerk, it is the responsibility of the head clerk or the senior clerk to maintain the service book in a proper manner. the service book is a very, very important document which should be in duplicate. That means one copy with the college, one copy with the teacher, and sometimes the teacher says, okay, keep it in college, then you may keep it, but a better thing would be to have it a copy with the teacher. In case there is an emergency, you always have an additional copy with you. Now here, filling of the service book is very, very important. So you will write the designation. This side is mainly for writing the designation of the teacher. Then your date, when you were appointed on probation or whatever the type of appointment had been. Then what was your initial salary, right? And then your date. Then your signature. See, when you sign, you must verify that what information is filled here is correct. After you have signed, then only the principal signs. See, very often it is seen the other way around because the teacher never bothers to see the service book. In fact, every year after increment, you must come and sign the service book. And on this side, on the first page, you must write the NOC number. Then you can also write the advertisement, which paper, which year, which date. So there is no problem then. Then your university approval detail. Then there will be a stamping of the joint director and then of the government AG. Then only the pay will start in online manner. Till the stamping is done, the pay does not start. So therefore, there is a delay in your appointment and when your regular salary will start. So please understand there are many things which have to be done till your regular pay starts. Then this is very, very important page for noting down your leave record. Now, because teachers are vacation staff, there is no earned leave. So you have to write about every year your 20 HPL, half pay leave. So that noting should be made on this page and you might also want to check. Please remember that leave is like a fixed deposit. Don't use it because you never know that after many years you may require that leave. At that time you can avail of that leave, but not without any reason. Also remember, this leave cannot be encashed. So there is no encashment. EL is only for people who are working during vacation. That means the principal and the office staff who are non-vacation people. Then this page, which I've shown here, is Seva Padtalni. This page is required at the time of your retirement. So all details, the last page details will be filled in at the time of retirement or when you want to avail of your DCPS or any money which is there with the government. At that time, this page becomes very important. One information which I would like to share with each one of you, please, please, please fill a nomination form because we never know about life. And if something unoutward happens, then whoever is very near and dear to you will get all the money which you put in because of your hard work. Don't forget to fill the nomination form, whether it is for a PF or it is for gratuity or it is for your DCPS, whatever it is, nomination form is very important. Second, you can change in the nomination form. Say before marriage, you nominated, say, your parents, but after marriage, you nominate your spouse. If spouse is not there, then your children. But ensure that you make a nomination. In case the nominee is a minor, then also you have to take an appropriate precaution. So nomination, if you have not done, please, please, please do it at the earliest. Now, annual increments. 3% of the total pay in the relevant pay band. So every year, either 1st of July or 1st of January every year. Now, suppose your CAS promotion happens in April. I'm repeating. Suppose your CAS promotion is in the month of April. Then your annual increment you will not get in the month of July. Am I clear? You will get it only in the coming January. Because there should be, that means if your CAS is between 1st Jan to 30th June, then your increment will come on 1st January of the coming year. If it is between July to December, then you will get it in July, right? That means there should be a gap of 6 months. Many times teachers argue. They say, oh, CAS is my promotion. Then why am I not getting my increment on this year? No. For your annual increment, if you have availed of an increment in the earlier phase, then there should be minimum 6 months. Then in the 7th pay, when you are promoted from 10 to 11, if you look at the pay pattern, then you get a notional increment. Again, from 11 to 12, you get another notional increment. But on promotion for 12 to 13A, already you are going to a very high scale, there is no notional increment. So please remember that you understand, go and talk to your office clerk, why my increment was not given on July, and I'm very sure with a smiling face, the clerk will tell you, well, you will get the increment, but you will get it in the coming January. Now, what is the role of IQAC? Now, IQAC has a very, very important role and they have a lot of work to do. Please remember, IQAC does all the documentation work, which is a lot of work. I salute all the IQAC members for their work because they are not getting anything in return, but they are working without any expectation for the benefit of the college. And why you should think about college? You are there because the college is there. Your very identity is because of your institution. So, pehla pyar, mera college. That should be your slogan. And every day morning, if you pray for your college, I am very sure each one of you will be very, very successful. And you will be very happy with a very big smile. There is no need for searching for any happiness anywhere. So always think very good for your own college because that college has provided you with dignity. It has provided you with everything. Your family is happy because your college is contributing to your happiness. So this IQAC does verify all your API scores. It put all the documents in place so that office work becomes easy. So please, IQAC members, also you train the office staff so that when they approach the government authorities and if there is a query, they can solve it very easily. Now let's go. Okay. Now, how am I going to face the CAS in the 7th pay commission? Congratulations to each one of you. I think teachers are getting maximum salary. Of course, teachers are training an entire new generation. So the young India is going to be what the teacher is today. So teachers play a very, very important role. But a success of any teacher depends upon the non-teaching staff who are working with them very silently. They're ensuring that the entire machinery is in place. Even in pandemic, they're ensuring that you have connectivity, you have the timetable, you have everything so that you can deliver the best lecture for your future generation. So let us see, there is a slight variation. Earlier, it used to be teaching, learning, evaluation, then co-curricular, extension, etc. And third was your research score. So criteria 1, 2, and 3. Now, the first one is Appendix 2, Table 1, where the activity is divided in two parts. One part is your teaching, learning part, and the second part is your involvement in college activity. See, college is very living, it is thriving, it is throbbing, right? So your work does not end by just taking one lecture and sitting quietly. Your work begins as a mentor. Your work begins as a contributor for the co-curricular activities. Your work begins as being a part of the cultural forum. Your work begins by organizing seminar, workshop, etc. Your work begins by doing research. So a teacher is a multitasking person. I say a teacher is a superman or superwoman. And a teacher is one who doesn't think about themselves. They think always about others. So others can be parents, others can be society, others can be students, others can be management, authorities, whoever it is. So the first activity, very important for which you are hired, is teaching. So suppose you have not taught 70% of classes, then not a satisfactory, which I'm very sure no teacher will do that. Every teacher will go to the class. Every teacher will teach. So my grading for all you teacher is good for all the years, because you are sincere, you will do your work happily, you will teach, you will deliver, you will make learning an enjoyable process. Second one is examination work. If you're HOD or in charge or you're involved in co-curricular activities, you're organizing seminar, at least 3 activities if you're involved, you get a good. If you're involved in 1 or 2, then I would say satisfactory. But not involved, not as satisfactory, which I think is not possible, because at least every teacher will be involved in examination and evaluation. Because as per statutes, you cannot refuse examination work. So I re-emphasize, you grow, institutions grow, both of you flourish and grow together. Now comes the criteria 3, which I will go little slowly. Now this table 2 methodology, there should be an O there, for calculating academic and research score. Some people said, "Arey, satwa to bahut difficult hai." No. In fact, it is the best way, and they realize that teachers don't have much time. They have to spend a lot of time in teaching. So their expectations are very less. From level 10 to 11, you require just 20 in 6 years' time. Let me see how you can get. I feel if every teacher plans to publish at least 1 book chapter, publishing a book will require more maturity, at least 1 book chapter. Okay, 1 invited lecture, and then 1 research paper. They are fine. Because you have to get the score in minimum 3 headings. So what is the first heading? Research paper. Are you with me? One of you can say yes.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Yeah, and somebody's mic is on. मैं बाजी वाला सुन सकती है. Right? So please, you can hear, right? Am I going at your pace?
Yes,
am I fast or I'm okay?
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you. So research paper, I will also tell joint paper ko kaisa lena hai, impact factor kaisa lena hai, little later. Now first category, I told you must get in 3 categories, right? So there are total 6. Pehla wala kya hai? Research paper. Now research paper is 8 per paper, and for humanities they know it is little difficult, 10. Now you should be in UGC CARE listed journal, which is already available on website. But जब भी आपने publish किया, वो CARE listed में था, so if you give that reference, it will work. Then second is book publications. If it is an international publisher, then 12. National publisher, then 10. If you're an editor of a book, then 10. If you're editor of a book published by a national publisher, 8. If you have written a book chapter, then 5. So in 2, there are 2 categories, A and B. A is books. And I think for a beginner, this is your best beginning point. It's very easy. And those who are from language department can think about this. Sorry. They can think about translation. Translation work in Indian and foreign language. Some people are very good at translation, so they can think about doing translation work. If it's a chapter or research paper, then you score 3. And if it is a book, then 8. One small information, they have not mentioned your pages of books, right? So you can think about a small poetry book or something and think about translating it. Then this is a criteria which people are often confused. That is the third one. So first one is research paper. Second one is book publication, including translation. Third one is creation of ICT mediated teaching, learning, pedagogy, and content, new content. So if you have done an innovative pedagogy, right, new method, now this has to be certified by somebody. See, if I copy somebody's pedagogy, then I cannot claim it to be mine. It has to be my original technique, which can be certified by the head of the institution or an educationist. Then if you have designed a new curriculum, now a word of caution here. Autonomous colleges may think, "Arey, humne ka banaya na syllabus," but your board of studies has made. You as an individual, if you have made an entire course, say a value-added course, 2 credit, then you can claim here, which I think you as teachers can think about it, because you can design a value-added course of 2 credits and 30 hours, and you can claim this marks of 2, even though their marks are less, but in terms of 3 categories, you will be included here. Now, when it says MOOCs, it has to be an invited MOOC by UGC, Swayam or Madan Mohan Malviya, who will invite you. So in UGC website, there is an invitation. You have to upload a video. Based on your content, you will get invitation whether to develop all the 4 quadrant or 1 quadrant, or you can write content. So that is by invitation. You can claim marks only when you have done under that category, not your own. Your PPT cannot be a MOOC. Then e-content. Now e-content development, which you have done, which is identical to the MOOC, then you can claim. But it should be your original content. Again, certified by your head of the department or the principal, saying that, well, this is an e-content developed for the entire course. That means the complete paper. Or you may think about contributing to an e-book in at least 1 quadrant. So it depends on what you have done. And here you can claim marks. Then the next 4th category, which for a beginner, because you may be just acquiring PhD, you may not be a PhD guide. But if you are planning to become a professor, then you will have an opportunity to claim marks under this category, research guidance. So PhD already awarded 10, but if the thesis is submitted, then 5. But please remember, you cannot claim it 2 times. Either you claim as awarded, or if you feel that nahi mere ko abhi 5 mark chahiye idhar, so earlier you are claiming, then after awarding you cannot claim. Am I clear? Similarly, research project. If the amount is completed, then 10 and 5. But if it is ongoing, then 5 and 2. Now here they have given one more opportunity. They have not mentioned any, what you can say, sort of any amount. So consultancy, even if you bring 3 or 4,000, then you can claim as consultancy and get 3 marks. But how are you going to show it? The letter should come to the college. The money should come to the college. Then college may disburse it to you. But if you are doing it privately, then you cannot claim. If you are a CA, it cannot be claimed as consultancy work because you are not supposed to practice if you are working as a assistant professor or professor in a college. Then patents, if you have international, then 10, national 5. If you only filed a patent, no marks. It should have been awarded. Then policy document, there is an upper capping because many people are involved in many committees. For them to get marks here becomes very easy. Therefore, they have kept a capping. So international policy document, then 10, national 5, state 4. So it should come in the gazette or any policy document. Your name should be there and your contribution should be mentioned. Then awards and fellowship, international 7 and national 5. But please remember, a paper presented in an international conference and you get a prize cannot be considered here. It has to be like a Ron Paul, Humboldt, Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, or it can be Fulbright. Those are the things which will be UGC Research Award. Those are the ones which are considered in this category. Then finally, the 6th one, again, there is a capping of 30%. Why? Because I may invite you as a resource person, you will invite me as a resource person. So we will keep on going back and forth and we will get all the required marks here. No, there's a capping of 30% of the total research score. So international held abroad because many people are holding international conferences in the country, right? So my college can host an international conference if I have a couple of people coming from foreign country. But for that, the marks are only 5. International done abroad is 7. The national conference 3 and state or university 2. Very, very important. Paper presented. If part of edited book or presented proceeding, then claimed only once. Can somebody mute themselves, please? So if the paper, that means you cannot claim 2 times. You claim it either as a conference, your invited lecture, or you will consider it as a conference proceeding, or you consider it as a book chapter, any one time. Because you will have to show the proof according. You cannot be taking marks 2 times for the same activity. Now, augmentation. Now, please remember, there are many journals. Some of them are also UGC listed. But their impact factor is not in the Thomson Reuters list. And there are some journals which are peer reviewed. And they have impact factor, I'm very surprised, 10, 15. Even a journal like Nature, which has a high factor, will not be anywhere near that. So therefore, please don't augment your research score unless and until the impact factor is in the Thomson Reuters list. So I'm better off taking 5 marks as an augmentation. Why? No impact factor. So even then you are getting 5 additional marks. So if you have got 8 marks there plus 5, correct? So you have enough marks to score for 1 publication. Now, how do I divide the score? Normally, if I am a good research guide, I will go through a document which tells about authorship. Who can be the first author? Who is the rightful first author? So authorship is very, very important. So the first author is the one who generates the idea and contributes in performing at least some of the activity. Say, for example, if you're collecting data, then you made the questionnaire and you have helped in the collection. If it is experiment, you have designed the experiment and also standardized the protocol. So it is up to you how comfortable you are to claim. Therefore, to get rid of this confusion, now this time UGC has done a very nice thing, I think. If there are only 2 authors, then 70% of the total value. So suppose there is 10 score, then 7 marks for first author, 7 marks for second author. If there is more than 2 authors, then each one of them will get 30%. That means the first author will get 7 और हर एक 10 जन रहेंगे ना पीछे, हर एक को 3 marks. Now, very often the project to be on the safer side. You never know what life will take a turn. So normally big projects have 2. One is a principal investigator. The other one is a co-investigator. So when you're claiming marks, 50% you can claim. Same way, there is a provision for co-guide. See, I'm an expert in one area, but there is somebody else who's an expert in another area. Both of us come together to guide one PhD student. So there also I can claim the marks by claiming 7 marks each. Then, as I already mentioned, there is a capping for policy document and there is a capping for invited lecture. Very important, whenever you are claiming research score, whether it is 20, there is 50 or 45, it should be in minimum 3 categories. There are 6 categories, out of which you must claim, you must have score in 3. I cannot say, oh, I got a publication, very nice publication, 20 khatam. No. You must also score at least 1 or 2 marks in other categories. Now I come to the part which all of you are very eagerly waiting. Etc. Now it is assistant professor, then associate professor. So when you are appointed, you are at level 10. From level 10, you will move to level 11. Earlier it was 7,000, 6,000 to 7,000. Doesn't mean other institution. It means a PI and a co-PI. So if you have a co-PI, whether from the same institution or other institution, you can claim accordingly. Am I clear? Madam? Am I clear?
No, madam. Joint project means joint with other institutes or only one college has a project?
No, madam. When I say joint project, here I mean there is a principal investigator and a co-investigator. अभी मेरे कॉलेज में मैं PI है, हिमांशु सर co-PI है, right?
Okay.
So then it becomes a joint project. But suppose I join with Somaya College. Prabhu madam एक है, मैं एक हूँ. So one of us will be co-PI. It is mentioned, no co-PI.
Yeah, yes.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So it can be both. So joint project doesn't mean between 2 different institutions. It can be within the same institute. There are 2 teachers or 2 investigators involved in the project.
And ongoing projects has only 5 marks.
Yeah.
Now from the 5 marks, if it is a joint project, you will get only 2.5.
No. Which 5 marks you're talking about?
If the ongoing projects.
Yeah, less than. Yes, madam. But nevertheless, आपको category में चाहिए ना. You are not using that for your elevating marks. It is that आपको 3 category चाहिए तो research guidance में आ जाएगा ना.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to take questions later, but nevertheless, I was a little curious. That's why I answered here. So
Thank you, madam.
if somebody joins at the entry level, they will get within 4 years the next promotion, and after 5 years if they are MPhil holders. But MPhil is not a qualification. It's an additional qualification. So they have to be NET, SET, or and PhD. It's like that. So one orientation program, very, very important. And I shall also talk about teacher induction program a little bit. Now, in the 7th Pay Commission, they have mentioned there will be a teacher induction program for teacher when they are in probation. So probation is normally of 1 year. Very often teachers are not aware. So usually it can be extended for another year, provided the performance is not as satisfactory. So this teacher induction program, I think UGC has already given guidelines. It is conducted by the HRDC and or the centers of HRDC, like the Madan Mohan Malviya Institute, or there is a college in Delhi who is certified by HRDC to conduct these programs. But it is usually during the probation period. So this teacher induction program is with the ethos that the degree college teachers don't do any grade. So therefore, to familiarize them with teaching plan, how you will map the curriculum, program becomes essential. But I guess that after 2016, because there have been no, please mute yourself. I request the participants to mute themselves. So since there are no recruitment, already people have done about 4 or 5 years. So for them, one orientation program should be good enough. Any one of the following: refresher course, research methodology. But if the duration is at least 1 week, there should be no 9 there, of 1 week, or if it is of 10 days, right? If it is of 1 week, then 2. If it is of 10 days, then 1 will do. But my suggestion always is to do one orientation and one refresher course so that you are eligible. Now, who is eligible to apply for CAS from stage 10 to 11? 1. They should have completed 6 years from the date of probation, 4 for PhD holders, and 5 for MPhil. One orientation, one refresher course, or any 2 courses of 1 week, or one MOOCs course with e-certification. But this MOOCs should be accepted. They write, this is accepted for CAS promotion. They give a tagline. So please do only that. Don't do any course which is conducted by an institute privately. It will not be accepted. She gets a satisfactory, I say all teachers, good only. But they have given a lieu that they can get satisfactory or good in the annual performance assessment. So if you are going for 6, then you should get all 6. Great. If you are after 5 years, then for 5 years. If you're doing it for after PhD, then 4. That is why this has been given. But minimum 3 for 3 years. If you are going after 4 years, minimum for 3 years, you should get a good or satisfactory. Then your research score. See, they also realize that when you're a new teacher, you are not really going to jump into research immediately. You will take some time. So therefore, in the entire 6-year period, the expectation is only 20, which is nothing. And I think if a teacher decides, you already know about the rules and regulation, you can definitely score this much. And a teacher should be involved in research. Then only they can know what is going around or what is new information to be imparted to the students. And there is no interview. There is only screening cum evaluation committee. Now, assistant professor, academic level 11 to 12. completed 5 years. There is no, please remember, there are no incentives for PhD, because already in the beginning you are getting this incentive of getting a grade after 4 years, after 5 years. So there are no separate incentives. Similarly, there are no additional increments if you do a PhD during your course of tenure. You have to do PhD, because to get promoted to 13A, PhD is a compulsory qualification. So academic level 11 to 12, completed 5 years, and please read properly any two of the following. So any two of the following means refresher, all these so many courses they have mentioned. So you have to do minimum 2. And your academic research score should be 50 in the assessment year. So the bar is slightly risen. At least 10 you must try to get in one of these categories per year, so that after 5 years you are very comfortable and you're 50. If you have more than that, well and good. No separate marks for refresher, FDP, etc. They are part of your eligibility. That means you have to do it. Then only you are eligible. Then, so I have just compiled it. Completed 5 years. Any two of the following. You must have a satisfactory or good grade. Then academic score in research 50 for the entire assessment period. Now, let me just remind you, assessment period is after your promotion to 11. So earlier things you cannot keep on claiming. They are there with you as your asset. But here you have to do in this period of 5 years. Then very nice position, which has made all of us lakpati, is the promotion from assistant professor to associate professor. And let us all thank the government for such a wonderful pay package, which has made life very comfortable and is attracting very good academicians to the teaching profession. Now for this, you should have completed 3 years after you have been promoted to academic level 12. A PhD degree in subject concerned. Now, I will just, this is my experience. Of course, you can have your own debate, but I always believe in riding the straight path and not creating confusion. If I am from botany, then I should enroll myself in botany. Even though I can do in environmental science, I can do in biotechnology, I can do in biochemistry, but all that is my liking. But what does my rule book say? In subject concerned. So physics means you must enroll in physics. You can do nanotechnology, you can do astrophysics, astronomy, anything. But your degree should say physics. So if I'm a historian or a history person, I should do in history. But my area of research can be anything, but my degree should say that particular subject. If you get in an allied subject or relevant discipline, then you have to go to the equivalence committee. They will meet, they will certify, then they will give, then again you come back and then you show those papers. I think we don't want to do all these. Let us do it nicely. Ultimately, then what work you do inside depends on you. So you can pursue the area of your interest, but your title should be pertaining to that subject, so that the clerk, when he takes his papers, it will be very easy for him to explain. Then any one of the following. So any one, so earlier in last 3 years, now this is, you have to read very, very carefully. Earlier it should be only one short-term course of 5 days. But now, if you are doing a short term, then you have to do 2 courses. Any one becomes relevant when you're doing a course of 10 days. So 10 days FDP, or you have done one refresher course, or you have done, which is more than, or other 10 or more, that will do. But if you have done a short term, For getting this promotion, you have to do 2 short terms because it very clearly mentions completed 2 courses of 1 week duration. So let me compile. For this promotion, he or she gets satisfactory or good grade in the annual performance. So it doesn't mean that we can stop teaching well and all. We have to continue teaching extremely well, happily. Then we get a good and then an academic or research score of 45 in the assessment period. That means in those 3 years, 45, and there will be an interview. And based on the interview report, the selection committee will recommend to give the promotion. Now comes the highlight. Now, what is the highlight? A very big, I would say, a prize for all college teachers. But let me tell you, please think, 1 minute. This promotion, read, what does it tell about a professor? A professor is a person of academic excellence. A professor is a one who has contributed to the all-round development of the college. A professor is the one who has a vast area of research experience, extremely good publications. But when it has come down to the college, I think we must keep this ethos. Otherwise, just by completing 3 years, 13A, people will start aspiring to be professor. So you do become a professor, but think about it. What is your contribution to the teaching learning process of the institution? What is your contribution to the entire development of the college? What is your contribution in different areas of the college? What is the contribution to the research of the college? What type of grants you have brought to the college? What is the level of publications that you have made? And I'm very sure if for everything you get yes as an answer, you will become a professor. And this is the wonderful opportunity. Now in 7th pay, there is no bar, only 10% and all that. Whoever does all these things are eligible to become a professor. So completed 3 years in level 13A, is a PhD degree holder, 10 publications. Till today it says peer review or UGC listed journal, but they do want UGC listed journal, of which at least 3 should be in the assessment period. And a minimum of 110 research score, the one which I told you just now. So in 3 categories, you should have a research score of 110. Then satisfactory or good in the first 2 criteria, and there'll be a very good interview. In the universities, it is very, very difficult, and the interview is a very good interview where external committees, now here also, the panel has external experts who come in, and the date of promotion shall be the date of selection as a professor by CAS interview. So go ahead, grab this opportunity, fulfill the criteria, justify that you indeed can become a professor, and you are going to help the college administration in taking the college to a different level. I'm sure you will be the right candidate. So again, Constitution and Evaluation Screening Committee. Now here also many of the people are not aware. The clerk, poor thing, doesn't know. And then he just takes the paper and they say it's not proper. Barobar nahi hai, tumchi committee che report barobar nahi hai. And then he will come back. So then to make corrections at that point becomes very difficult. Please take experts from the VC. Don't change. Because if you can make changes, then the university has to approve this promotion and they will not approve. Again, then your entire committee has to sit and you have to do the procedure, which is very difficult. So nominee of the college governing body, HOD or senior most teacher. If you yourself are an HOD, then that clause is not valid. 2 subject experts nominated by the VC. It is not nomination by the governing body, it is by the nomination of the VC. the principal of the college, and the joint director or his nominee. Please remember, the principal should be present for the interview. IC principal or regular principal, they must be there because he is the signing authority. He is the manager of the institution. So therefore, his presence is very, very important for any CAS interview, or for that matter, any interview, because teachers are his colleagues. So they have to be present. Now for the promotion from 12 to 13A, there is an interview. So therefore, the quorum has one vice chancellor's nominee who is not a subject expert, but is usually a principal of another affiliating college who knows the administrative work. Then one subject expert is required. And in addition to that, in our college, we have one more subject expert from the list of 5 names which have been recommended by the VC. Because last moment, suppose there is an emergency, suppose your VC nominee subject doesn't come, then as an emergency case, you can always send an email to the registrar or to the section and get a permission to hold the interview in with this subject expert. So therefore, don't compromise on the number of subject experts. It's good that more people are there so that they will do a fair evaluation. Then the joint director himself or his nominee. Now, how is the selection committee report made? Now, this is a format, even though I've written stage 3 to stage 4, it is applicable for other stages. So in our college, we say that it's a vertical form, and that is a portrait and a landscape. There are 2 forms. So please make the report in this manner, so then you will have no problem. So there it is already mentioned, and take original signature with, if possible, with date. Some people don't write the date, but you must take original signature. Then your portrait, your landscape. Look here, all this is very important. Teacher should verify. A good idea is to call the teacher, ask them, find out whether every information is correct. And this should be tallying with your service book information. So what does it say? Qualification, date of birth, date of appointment, approval, if you have worked in another college, date of approval on probation in our own college, then PhD, orientation, refresher, short term. Then whether you are going to be promoted from level 10 to, we have changed this slightly, level 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13A. Then this portion also slightly modified. No more writing 125. We just write category, your remark will be good or satisfactory. And in the second category, whatever API score verified for research score will be mentioned. And finally, very important, many colleges miss out. You please tell the committee to make a recommendation here. Remark, recommended for promotion, recommended for promotion from level so-and-so to so-and-so with effect from whatever date. Then all original signature. And you must have 4 copies. Why am I?
pension कोण देते तुला? Bank देते ना.
Can you please mute yourself? Then your interview report. So there is academic background, 20, your API score, 40. Then they will take an interview, domain knowledge and interview performance. And finally, it is out of 100. Minimum passing is 50. So this academic background and API score is calculated and given by college authorities. So based on your performance in the college and based on your research API score. So these are already filled in. And say, for example, you need a score of 110. That is your maximum. Then only you qualify for professor. If you are 45, then it is maximum, right? So the only score which the committee will write is about your interview, and maybe they will test your domain knowledge. Again, here recommendation should be written, handwritten, not typed. And then all the signatures. Then there is one more form which many institutions don't realize, and later on then they have to keep on running. That is regarding your participation in examination work. Earlier they used to say that you have to get the certificate from the controller of examination, but with lot of hassles they have made an easy form. This form should be filled and signed by the experts. The joint director nominee may sign it or may not sign it, but if there is 3 signature, very important, it is certified by the principal of the college, and you have attached your CAP relieving letter, I think that should be good enough. Okay. So how do I make a file? I'm going to just give a 2 minutes break so that I can drink water, and I'll be right back. Thanks for waiting. We are almost coming to the end, but these are very, very important things which I would like to take up. Is how do you prepare the file for CAS? And I'm very sure if you make an index and prepare the file, तो आपका starting point क्या है? Is all the papers of your first appointment. आपको लगेगा अरे first appointment क्यों चाहिए? No, they will ask. So right from your NOC, everything. जो 3 फाइल बनाई है ना, उसमें से एक फाइल आपको शुरू करना है. So we have trained our non-teaching staff. They make the file. They have this ready reckoner. They make the file. ठीक है? Then you have to the pay fixation and stamping. See, for university approval, you need not submit the service book. There is no need. But a good idea will be to take a photocopy of your service book where the stamping is there. Then your API form. So PBS, you have been filling performance-based appraisal system. I repeat it again. Every teacher is supposed to every year, not for CAS. So please remember your performance appraisal is an annual thing. In fact, your increment is on that. But people are more relaxed. Therefore, we say, okay, baad mein karenge. So if you do it every year, it will become very easy for you. Then certified copies of orientation course, refresher course, your faculty development program, short term, everything should be entered in the service book. So office will enter, but you also can come and remind, and signed by the principal. Now, please remember, if you've done a short term course from IQAC or INSA, which is valid or considered, that certificate should be attached. Because I know the IQAC workshop is valid, but then the university clerk may not remember. Then he is going to take out queries. So that is why it gets delayed. All earlier pay fixations should be there. Not original. Can you please mute yourself? Then if you have publication, book, cover page. A word of caution here, if there is a publication without the name of the college in your working, it is not valid. You have not acknowledged the institution where you have worked. So you may be a PhD student somewhere. So your guide will show that as an affiliation, but you are affiliated to the college. Your loyalty should be to the college. So please mute yourself. So publication copies in case of book, cover page where your name appears along with the name of the college, book chapter, cover page of the book, copy of the chapter, then publication of the whatever journal, and if you're claiming impact factor, supporting document. If your file is, again, my suggestion is make 2 files, because one file goes to the university and then you have to submit to the joint director. So it's normally university sends that entire thing to the joint director, but if it gets misplaced, then you have something to back up. Very important, without university approval, the joint director will not do the fixation. So this is your ready reckoner. Every time if you make a file, previous file ko naya document jodo. So that is very, very important. Then the pro forma for fixation, it is given in the GR. Follow that. Please, your clerk should fill it properly. And then this is to be submitted to the joint director. Again, 4 copies. Normally they do it in 3 copy so that they keep 1 for record and they give us 2 for us. But sometimes they certify only 2 copies, whatever the case may be. But to be on the safer side, it is better to make 4 pro forma for fixation. Then principal, I'm sure some of you may become, even I never thought I'll ever be a principal of the college. You never know what destiny has it in store for you. So be prepared, and why not enjoy learning? So UG level 13A, PG level 14. This is a little controversy here, that those colleges which have PG section, their principal are placed at level 14. But I think soon all principals will be at level 14. The qualification needed are exactly identical to that of a professor. But you also get an additional, what you can say, honorarium for being the principal. At the same time, what is important is, if you have some very good ideas, you can shape or you can take a direction for your institution and you can contribute to the growth of the institution. I think that should be your motto rather than looking at yourself. Think about the society at large and you are going to enjoy working. The quorum for selection is much larger. There are about 11 to 12 people who are there, and it is 2-step process. First, there is a scrutiny committee, and once the scrutiny is done, then the selection committee will meet to take the interview. So procedure again same, NOC, draft approval of advertisement, 3 leading newspaper, then request to the Vice Chancellor for giving experts, scrutiny committee to scrutinize the application to find out whether they meet the eligibility criteria, and then the candidate should be called for interview. Very important, no interview can be done hurriedly. You have to give 15 days for the candidate to prepare for the interview and come for the interview. And then the selection committee and the selection committee report, which is sent to the university for approval. Upon approval, the joint director will do the pay fixation. Then the accounts section, the AG will then verify it. And finally, the principal's appointment will be endorsed. So in summary, as a ready reckoner, I thought I will make this so that life becomes very easy. So for level 10 to 11, 1 orientation, 1 refresher, then category 1 and 2, which is combined, good or satisfactory, and research and academic contribution, 20 for the entire assessment period, and it's only screening. Then level 11 to 12, 1 refresher and 1 short-term course. Then category 1 and 2, good or satisfactory, research and academic 50, and again screening. Level 12 to 13A, again, if it is an FDP of 10 days, then 1. If it is a short term of 5 days, then 2. Then category 1 and 2, good or satisfactory. And in research, 45 in the assessment period. How is the promotion? By selection. There's an interview. Then level 13A to 14, that is a professor, good or satisfactory, 110 for research, and then 10 good publications and selection through a very good interview panel. Now, I thought that as a concluding session, I would say I'm going to take just 10 minutes, is very important, code of professional ethics, which is also a very integral part of the 7th page, was there in the earlier pay commission also. And they have written some very good things, how a teacher should conduct himself or herself in a premises. So they should adhere to a responsible pattern of conduct and what is expected by the community. Whatever they have as a private affair should be maintained with dignity. They should make professional growth by continuous study and research. They can voice their opinion, definitely, by participating in professional meeting, seminar, conferences, which will ultimately contribute to growth, to knowledge development. They must perform their duties in the form of teaching, tutorials, practical seminar, research, and work very consciously with dedication. They should discourage, or they should not indulge in plagiarism or non-ethical behavior in teaching and research. They must read the statutes, ordinance, and they should be aware of the vision, mission, cultural practices and tradition of the university and the college where they are working. They must be responsible people in the premises. They must help the college administration. See, no work given by the principal can be refused unless and until justified on health ground or some other ground by any teacher. So it's a very good thing that you should contribute to admission work, student counseling, you have to be a mentor, assisting university and college in examination, supervision, invigilation, evaluation. They must participate in extension, co-curricular, extracurricular, including community service. With teachers, I'll just summarize in 2 words. You are the guardian. Your students are going to be what you're going to teach them. So treat them as if you're going to treat your own child. You can scold them, but you should know, without being partial, without having any self-interest. We have to be excellent mentors. We have to be very proud when your own student flourishes and rises above you. That is your achievement. And with other colleagues, you would be, I just put it in one line, treat others the way you would like to be treated yourself. That is one sentence I always feel. And with authorities, even if you have to make a point, do it very respectably. Always respect the chair. You can have a frank opinion, you can discuss, but you cannot be arrogant. You cannot do insubordination. So you have to make the decorum. And whenever anything is given by the authority, then you have to perform it. And I'm very sure the authorities will be mature enough to give a task which is in keeping with the role of a teacher. You cannot take any employment, including private tuitions and coaching classes, which will interfere with your professional responsibility. And you cannot, accept any other office without the permission of the college management and the principal. And give and expect due notice before a change of position takes place. So refrain from availing themselves of any leave. Please remember that if one teacher takes a leave, there are 120 students every class who is waiting for that teacher. And a substitute teacher cannot go and teach what you are teaching. So remember, there is a very big community which is at loss. That many man hours are lost. Unless and until it is absolutely essential, please see that the leave is not taken. And non-teaching staff, they are an integral part of our community. They are the pillars of any institution. So they are helping functioning of the institution. So we have to treat them with lot of respect, They are colleagues, equal partner in a cooperative undertaking in every educational institution. And we know that we always say ardhangani, but it is very correct for non-teaching. Without them, we cannot do anything. See the lot of work, even though it is pandemic, every non-teaching staff has been coming to the premises to ensure that your TDS is in place, 16A is given to you, salaries go in time. It is a never-ending list. And I salute the non-teaching staff for their dedicated work. And the institution works because the teaching and non-teaching staff work in a harmonious manner. So we have to work together so that our institutions work well. The teachers and guardians and teachers and society, we are a very big part of the society, and the society looks at us with greater respect. So we have to maintain that, and we have to ensure that there is always communal harmony. We should be aware, and we should be aware of the problems which are there in the society and tackle any issue with a lot of sympathy and empathy. Now, college principal, bigger role. Being the first teacher of institution, he should be inspirational, he or she, and motivational, value-based, highest academic performance. He is the executive, should have leadership, should lead from the front, should be able to evolve policies, also ready to face any unoutward situation. He must be ready to take the blames because he is the front runner. He is the warrior. He is the one, he or she is the one who is responsible. Conduct himself or herself with transparency, fairness, honesty, all adjectives which are there should be there. Act as a steward of the college asset. That means each and every property, I say pin from piano, should be taken care of. It is college property. So therefore, the principal should ensure that nothing is damaged, nothing is being misused. He must promote the collaborative, shared, constructive, consultative work culture in the college, paving way for innovative thinking and ideas. So finally, I would conclude, all the best to do your best, because you are going to nurture the best future generation. I once again thank the non-teaching staff because my own college, they are my inspiration, and I saw them struggling with all the files, and I felt this would be a great idea to share my experiences. I would definitely like to know from you all. If you have some better experience, you can share with us. You can put it in the chat box. And if you have any questions, now the session is open. You can write in the chat box, and any of my colleagues can read it out for me. So any questions you have?
Hello, madam.
Yes, please.
Madam, in Marathi.
हा चालेल, मराठीत सांगा ना सर.
मॅडम, मी 6व्या वेतनुसार 14 किंवा 15ला असोसिएट होतोय समजा, पण आज कमिटी मिळाली समजा मला एपीआय विद्यापीठाने आज केलं.
कशाचा? असोसिएटला ना?
असोसिएट.
हा सर, एक मिनिट मी सांगते, मला कळलं ते. मग मी ते एक मध्ये एक आला होता क्लॅरिफिकेशन की असोसिएटला त्यांनी ना मे 10th ची जी एन अमेंडमेंट त्याच्यात म्हटलंय की ज्या दिवशी तुमची इंटरव्ह्यू होईल, करेक्ट, त्या दिवशी तुमची पे सुरू होणार. पण मला असं वाटतंय की आता आमच्या अजून एकही केस झाला नाहीये, बट एक GR आला होता मध्ये, तिथे GR किंवा UGC ची नोटिफिकेशन होती दॅट फॉर असोसिएट एलिजिबिलिटी डेट विल बी युअर डेट. कारण कमिटी मिळायला तुम्हाला वेळ लागतं. बट आमची अजूनही एकही केस झाली नाही. आमची फाईल जॉईंट डायरेक्टरला आहे, मग तेव्हा मी हे दाखवणार आहे त्यांना. बट प्रोफेसरला ज्या दिवशी तुमची कमिटी बसणार त्या दिवशी तुमची प्रमोशन, त्याची एकदम क्लिअर आहे. सर मला समजलं तुमची 18ला होती आणि आतापर्यंत तुमचं झालं नाही म्हणजे तुमचं नुकसान झालं ना आणि तुमच्या काय त्याच्यात हे नाहीये
हो.
right? But you make a representation, sir. I would say, sir, UGC always asks. There are some people who are very proactive. They are writing to UGC and UGC is writing a clarification because
नहीं,
of
madam,
that. See,
madam.
को 2 रिफ्रेशर, फिर बाद में क्या बोलते 2013 तक उन्होंने कंसेशन दिया, ऐसे करके बहुत सारे सोल्यूशन निकले ना.
नाही मॅडम 10 मे 2019 ला काहीतरी एक GR आलेला आहे
हा.
की सगळ्या वेतनानुसार
नाही मला कळलं ते आहे ना मी मेन्शन केलं ना तो कॉरेंजिंडियम मी मेन्शन केलं May 10th गव्हर्नमेंटचा GR आहे 10th May 2019
हो
उसमें मेंशन किया है बट फॉर दैट आई थिंक यूजीसी का एक लेटर है कि नहीं डेट करके मगर उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट का आया नहीं आया है वो परस्यू करना चाहिए किसी ने. मैंने आपको शुरू में ही दिखाया ना डेटेड 10th में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र हायर एंड टेक्निकल एजुकेशन कॉरेंजिंडियम दिखाया ना आपको. तो मला माहिती त्याच्याबद्दल मिळाली तर मी तुम्हाला देईन.
थँक्यू मॅडम.
वेलकम सर. अजून कोणाचा आहे?
Hello, madam. I'm Bela here. Madam,
देखो
for the professor's post now, which will the year for assessment we will have to apply now? Though I
Okay.
was due in 09.
No, you were not due, madam. 1 minute. You have not applied, no.
We applied to the college.
No, madam. Listen. You have to see. Okay. You please read the UGC regulation. Now, this is also available in the form of gazette. Very important. Everyone who is eligible for any post, correct, should apply. And they must also give justification because professor post just by qualification, I don't think mere qualifications are going to be there. There is much more to it. In terms of research guidance and all that. So there'll be an internal committee. So if you have you applied to the university portal?
No, but that college has not allowed.
No, madam. College nahi. Teacher. Through college portal.
See, we had applied. Now I have applied now. Because earlier college had
तो
not
अभी
allowed
आपने अप्लाई किया ना तो अभी अप्लाई किया तो आपका समझो अगर 2020 में आया उसके पीछे 4 साल लो अपना उसमें चाहिए आपको
2020 means
period बोला है ना.
I have to start from 16. Earlier period we can't.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Before
No.
that period we can't. Okay.
Lifetime research. See, 3 for assessment period. No, lifetime research is for, see, 110 research score for promotion of 13A to 14. That 110.
Yes.
You have said 10 publication. Jesse, you have asked me this question, right? So, Jesse, the 10 publication out of 10, 3 can be within that assessment period. Correct? Then your 110 na lifetime se bhi zyada majority part should be in your assessment period. And you cannot take what you have done before you joined the service, huh?
Madam,
because your care listed sab aa jayega na idhar problem.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, but the forms we will have to fill from earlier time.
No, madam. Now everybody has to fill this only because you are applying for 7th pay. You have not given the option that I will take 6th pay.
So, from only after 16 I can
Yes,
apply.
yes, madam.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, madam.
And earlier form.
नहीं ये फॉर्म है ना इसका तो पीबीएस का शुरू का फॉर्म वही है बाकी का 2 उसका पेज है ना इधर मैं बताती कौन सा पेज है वैसे ही भरने का है. आई विल टेल यू इट इज आफ्टर दैट 60 पेज के बाद एक पे मैट्रिक्स है उसके बाद टेबल 2 है और टेबल 3 टेबल 2 एंड टेबल 1 वैसे ही भरने का.
Okay, and only criteria 1 to document attached or.
And there is one more thing for direct recruitment. Please remember, thank you Saraswati madam. Direct recruitment madam, you can, there are criteria which are similar. So people can apply direct recruitment in university department and for professor post also. University department, you can apply for direct recruitment for associate and for professor.
Yes, true, madam.
Anybody else? Any other question?
Yeah,
Madam,
Dr.
Madam, there are
Yes, madam.
3 questions in chat box for
Yeah,
you.
I'm seeing the chat box. In YouTube में है.
No, madam, on Zoom's chat box from
I am
Geeta.
seeing Zoom chat box.
Geeta Paluskar, madam, SIS college has asked.
What is she asked?
Hello.
Is there any horizontal format for screening and evaluation under 7th pay rules?
Yes.
Then next
No,
is
I showed you. That is both vertical and horizontal. For associate, na, you have to change those 2 columns. The last 2 columns, instead of writing 125, you write 1 and 2. That you write table 1. And for the research score, write table 2. Any other question, Nilambri?
yeah. From what date are the
Yeah, 1
7th?
minute, Nilambri, before we forget, let everyone put their video on na, so that we can take a picture. Can we just, because people start leaving. It's lunch time. Correct, no?
Yeah, Dr. Usha, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Excellent presentation. Just one question that I had.
Yeah, I'm going to take the questions again, madam.
Acha,
Just
okay.
one picture.
Okay.
DP, can you please take, or Nilambri, somebody take a picture? Done?
Wait, madam, wait.
Hello, madam.
Sir, I'm taking questions. I'm not gone.
Madam, please. Madam.
हा बोला ना सर.
हे जे लेक्चर दिलं सगळं याची मेलवर मिळतील का तुमचं सगळं?
सर युट्यूब वर पण आहे. तुम्हाला मी आवडले तर रोज बघा, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. कारण युट्यूब वर आहे सर, आणि ते डॉक्युमेंट आहे, आणि आमच्या वेबसाईट वर आम्ही टाकणार.
थँक्यू.
थँक्यू. मला बरं वाटलं ते ऐकून.
मॅडम.
हा,
हॅलो.
येस प्लीज.
Dr. Ajit Kengar was a
Oh,
colleague.
hi Kengar, how are you? No
Hi
field
madam,
trip
बहुत
this year.
अच्छा. Yeah, it was very good presentation, madam, and very helpful for the aspirant for the professors.
Hey, but सब लोग मुझे भूल जाते. When you get promotion,
no, madam.
Pray for Junjunwala.
Yeah, exactly, madam. You were there for my stage 2 to 3. I remember.
Okay.
Madam, one question is there regarding the serial number 3 of the table asking curricular development and course development. Suppose I am working for.
हाँ, okay. अभी देखो कैसा है, सिलेबस तो पूरा कमेटी बनाता है ना. But suppose you you develop a curriculum, right? पूरा एक full 30 hour का एक मॉड्यूल बनाओ, right? और कैसे करोगे, मैप करो, और तुम्हारा बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज में अप्रूव करके लो ना तुम्हारे नाम से. You can claim marks there.
Yes.
You can claim.
Yeah, that is true. One more
value
thing.
added, because you are autonomous.
Yes. Madam, one more query. If suppose I am working for the board of study of one autonomous college, and I have contributed for the development of the course.
But board of studies तो कितना बड़ा है रे? Then you cannot claim.
No, but
बाकी लोग ने भी contribute किया ना.
That is true, but the 2 marks are there for everything, na?
No, 2 marks are देखो clear. No, अजीत, एकदम clearly लिखा है. देखो 2 मार्क किसको है? मैं पढ़ के बताती हूँ तुझे.
Yes.
देखो, डिजाइन ऑफ न्यू करिकुला एंड कोर्सेज. तो उस कॉलेज में BOS में था, तो वो लोग बाकी लोग भी रहेंगे ना, कि तूने पूरा एक पेपर उनको बना के दिया, थोड़े मानेगा कोई. मेरे बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज के एक मेंबर ने पूरा पेपर बनाएंगे, वो बराबर नहीं है ना. इट इज अ कोऑपरेटिव इफेक्ट. सब बुद्धिजीवों का एक साथ आना है ना वो. तो 2 मार्क नहीं मिलते उधर. इसलिए मैंने कहा, मैंने वाया मीडिया बताया ना, वैल्यू एडेड कर दे और करो, खाली पेपर में नहीं लिखना.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
और टेक्सोनॉमिस्ट ना, एक कर दो ना, आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ प्लांट, सिंपल टूल्स, ऐसा पूरा एक बना.
Dr. Usha, this is one question that I had.
Madam.
Yes, madam.
For stage 3 to 4 for CAS, we have got one subject expert and one VC nominee. Now, we, as a minority college, we need to have at least one.
Madam, for CAS, no, there is no minority.
Okay, so then we have to get the two additional.
No,
experts?
there is no 12 to 13. There is only one expert. मैं भी पहले सोचती थी कि 2 चाहिए. मैं 2 इसलिए बुलाती हूँ कि सपोज कुछ हो गया.
करेक्ट.
वो नहीं आया तो मेरा तो पूरा इंटरव्यू कैंसिल हो जाएगा ना.
राइट.
मेरे को वो जो वीसी ने दिया ना वो उसको बुलाना जरूरी है मैडम.
Please
remember for CAS there is no minority.
So then the additional expert, do we
optional लिखा है ना मैंने मैडम. Optional.
No, if we have to call, should we contact university or can we call?
No, you can call, but it should be one among those 5 names.
Okay.
One जो 5 नाम अपन ने दिए ना, देखो minority का उनको advantage है ना. We give 5 names. From those 5 names they give you name.
Okay.
तो आप वो 5 name में से एक को बुलाओ तो in case you are stuck, you can immediately do disaster management.
Okay. And then there's another question from one of our teachers. Affiliated college say they can apply for professor's post now.
Yeah.
That is
everybody. But madam, मुझे क्या लगता है हर एक ने अपने आप को पूछने का question.
They are on YouTube. That's why they sent me the question.
No problem.
Oh, thank you so much.
मॅडम एक क्वेश्चन.
Yes, madam.
मॅडम NSS किंवा नॅशनल सर्व्हिस स्कीम किंवा डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंटचा आपण 10 दिवसाचा जो कोर्स करतो आपण,
हो
तर ते आपल्याला सिनियर स्केल किंवा सिलेक्शनला पकडलं जातं का?
तर पूर्वी नाही जात होता. मग आता मला असं वाटतंय जर का त्यांनी सर्टिफाय केलं की HRDC, कारण इट शुड बी इक्विवेलेंस चाहिए. देखो हमारा एनसीसी वाले भी पूछते हैं क्योंकि वो लोग जाते हैं ना वर्कशॉप को, पर वो नहीं पकड़ा जाता. बट इन दैट कैटेगरी 2 इट इज देयर. सर एक मिनिट, मला असं वाटतंय की तुम्ही लिहू शकता आणि तुम्ही UGCL लिहा, कारण त्यांच्या लक्षात येईल आणि ते इन्क्लूड करतील ना. एनी वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग मध्ये त्याला पण इन्क्लूड करतील.
थँक्यू.
चालेल, येऊ तुमच्याकडे लंचला.
चालेल.
Madam, there are 2 more questions by Geeta Palusar, madam.
Yeah, please tell.
She's asking from what date are the 7th pay regulations applicable for CAS? And her last question is there a self-assessment format available under 7th pay?
Madam, the same format except for your category, this thing API. See, they have written one. 3 years they have given. वो शुरू में उसने लिखा है कि till 3 years you can get your 7th pay was what you can say came into function from 1st January 2016, right? So to prevent too much of this thing for teachers, to give them time, they have given 3 years. But then after 20, all these regulations will be there. But मुझे लगता है कि मैडम देखो, अगर हमको मिल रहा है ना 7th पे, we might as well go with this ना. फोन करके पूछो.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello, madam.
Hey, any non-teaching in the meeting? Clark, I think I saw Vrishali. She is the registrar of Mittal College. So let us, any other question?
Yeah, madam, I have one question regarding this lockdown. In the lockdown from last one academic year, we all teaching staff attended so many faculty development programs.
Yes.
Workshops. 2 days, 1 day, 7 days, 5 days research methodology workshop. So what is the status of all this workshop, faculty development program, training program regarding CAS, and what about the guidelines issued by the UGC in this matter?
Sir, 1 minute. I will congratulate all the teaching staff. I think initially when the lockdown started,
Yeah, yeah.
This was the best way for us to engage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
कि पढ़ने लगेंगे ना तो अपन दुख भूल जाते हैं,
सही बात है.
So that was very good. But 2 दिन का अगर FDP किया ना सर, तो उसको नहीं, अगर आपने जैसे मैंने कहा मदन मोहन मौलविया किया, किसी ने HRDC का किया, या फिर they have done स्वयं, which is all acceptable, वो सब आपको मिलेगा ना. और अभी जब भी मिशन ओपन हो गया ना, तो धीरे धीरे CAS इंटरव्यू होने लगे.
या ओके.
और बहुत अच्छा किया सर, आप भूल जाते हैं जब भी आप पढ़ते हैं ना, तो लॉकडाउन सब वायरस को भूल जाते हैं.
या सही. थैंक यू मैडम.
So shall we end the session, madam? Seema madam?
Yes, madam. Thank you very much.
Can you just say thank you to all our wonderful participants?
Thank you to you, madam, for such an informative session and
Thank you.
excellent idea. The very idea of taking this workshop was really a great job. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Highly appreciated, and I had a wonderful gathering today, and I had a gala time for 2 hours because I just love interacting with people. So COVID or no COVID, you all are in my heart, in my prayers. So good luck and have a good lunch, and remember my college. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much, and principal. And please fill the feedback form. Yeah. See, we have one person, DP जैसा कोई नहीं. Thank you, DP. And DP is sending the feedback form in the WhatsApp. और please correct नाम भरिए, उसी नाम से आपको आएगा सर्टिफिकेट, ई-सर्टिफिकेट. और जब भी अच्छे दिन आएंगे तो मेरे कॉलेज जरूर आइए. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, DP. DP,
Thank you,
very
madam.
much.
Thank you, principal sir. Thank you very much.
Madam, our pleasure to
Thank
have
you, madam.
Thank you.